What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles in the Open Ultra League submitted to the channel by Mexico Beckham, who's running a cream theme team with Slurpuff, Miltank and Vanillux, which I think is a really interesting concept. And by the way, I want to say thank you to those of you that have now sent in Ultra League submissions. Since I mentioned it in a video the other day, I've got a few that I want to showcase, so I'll try to get to those when the Ultra League comes back around. But with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. Which Pokemon do you think looks the most edible? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so go into the first battle, leading Slurpuff into Alolan Sandslash. Now, we are on Flamethrower, so this should be a positive matchup for us, but the opponent will, of course, have the buffed Ice Punch this season, so gonna no-shield the first charge move. We don't throw straight away, maybe looking to make sure that it doesn't get caught, and we wait one turn, but it still gets caught onto Tentacruel. Really nice play from the opponent there. That is resisted damage. We're now going to come in with the Miltank, and unfortunately, we're not on Thunderbolt. However, the opponent does not know that, so if we farm up to a Thunderbolt, maybe we can at least grab a shield advantage in this matchup. However, I don't think we'll be able to maintain alignment. So, gonna fire off the Body Slam here. Body Slam is going to be shielded by the Tentacruel, which is very nice. And now we're going to go for 3 more rollouts. Fire off another Body Slam here. At this point, probably not going to get a shield, and it doesn't. It also doesn't do too much damage there. However, we should be able to live even a Scald from this range. And we are actually going to swap at the same time as the opponent, predicting they were going to try and swap back into their Alolan Sandslash, knowing that they would resist all of the charge moves. However, we predict it. Now we're able to go for the Flamethrower. Flamethrower is going to grab the final shield from the opponent, and they will make it to another charge move. At this point, we're going to let the Slurpuff go down here, although actually, we will be able to live the Ice Punch and make it to a Flamethrower. Slurpuff hanging in there, making it to the Flamethrower. Flamethrower gets the KO. They're going to come in with a Drifblim, and things are actually looking very nice for Vanillux in the back. Now, of course, Vanillux only has nuke charge moves, but all shields are down on the opponent's end. They're going to swap back into Tentacruel, and at this point, I think the play is just to shield once and go for a full Astonish farm down. Although, can we actually get that farm down before they make it to the next charge move? We're about to find out that, yes, we're absolutely able to do so. We come out with the Blizzard loaded, and Blizzard should be enough damage here to completely one-shot the Drifblim, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we're going to see a Sirfetch'd in the lead, so a great lead matchup for us. The opponent is going to choose to stay in initially, then swapping into Drapion, and we're going to go for a Flamethrower. Now, both moves would be neutral, so play rough probably makes a lot more sense here, but either way, going to swap into our Miltank, and we are going to no-shield the first charge move, as the opponent is going to go and fire off a Crunch. Crunch is not going to get the debuff there, which is very nice for us, and the opponent's going to fire off another charge move. At this point, going to no-shield once again. They actually bait with an Aqua Tail, which I don't really see the point in doing that, but either way, going to fire off another rollout, then go for the Body Slam. Body Slam is going to be no-shielded, and they swap back into Sirfetch'd. So we're going to fire off a Body Slam here, just to make sure that our switch clock does come up, and we can swap out there. Avoid taking any charge move damage on the Miltank. The opponent has got a lot of energy, so at this point, we're going to shield. The opponent full sends the Brave Bird there. Now we can Fairy Wind, farm them down as they triple debuff their defense. They come back in with the Drapion. This time, it does make a lot more sense to go for Flamethrower, as they're in Flamethrower range. We grab that shield from the opponent, and the opponent will fire for another charge move, but we've already seen they're on Aqua Tail and Crunch. They go for the Crunch this time. They actually do get the debuff, but it doesn't really matter, as we can fire off a Flamethrower, and then we can swap out and clear that debuff, or of course, the opponent can just let them go down there. We're now going to swap back into Miltank, and we're going to go for a Body Slam into this Alolan Ninetales. Body Slam is going to be shielded by the opponent, and with all shields down, once again, Vanillux should be fine. We've actually got Flash Cannon for coverage. It's not in the recommended moveset. Recommended moveset suggests Signal Beam, although Bug is just a pretty awful offensive typing. Flash Cannon going to hit for double super effective damage in this matchup, so it will come in clutch. Flash Cannon obviously gets the one shot there, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, awful core breaker for us as we lead into Talonflame. We're actually going to swap into our Vanillux, which I'm not sure about, but then the opponent doesn't even stay in. They're actually going to swap out into a Swampert, and at this point, I think, yeah, you kind of have to shield this and maybe at least get a shield back from the opponent. It's pretty clear that, well, they should just be shielding this regardless of what we throw, but we go for the Blizzard, and the opponent does not respect the damage. They're now going to come back in with the Talonflame. They could actually just incinerate farm us down. However, they throw a charge move, and the opponent realizes, actually, they probably could have just farmed us down, so they do undercharge, which is a good play. However, we now have alignment. We can align our rollout user to the Talonflame. They are boosted, so if they're running Brave Bird, then that would do a lot of damage. We swap, and unfortunately, even though we fought hard for switch advantage there, we're going to have our Slurpuff aligned to this Venusaur. Now, we're not completely walled. We've got Flamethrower for coverage, which will do super effective damage, and it will hurt. But unfortunately, these Fairy Winds, even though they do more damage since last season, they're not really going to add up that much. But we can make it to back-to-back Flamethrowers here. So, going to fire off the second one. This should be grabbing the first shield from the opponent, but they can commit to a full Vine Whip farm down. So, at this point, not going to bother throwing straight away. I like this play. We would lose CMP anyways, so might as well opt for the extra rollout, assuming the opponent would throw it immediately, which is exactly what they do. And now we're going to go for that Body Slam. Body Slam is going to be no shielded by the opponent. I'm not sure about that play there. They come in with a Talon Flame, and we're able to make it to very close to back-to-back Body Slams. However, if the opponent doesn't throw a Charge Move here, we can go for one rollout and fire off the Body Slam straight away. And of course, from this range, Body Slam gets the KO, and we're able to take that game. Although I do wonder if the opponent threw a Charge Move, were we at 1 HP? And if that was the case, even though we had a shield there, we would have gone down. So if they had energy, they should have thrown a Charge Move. But either way, into the next battle, we're going to see a Giratina in the lead. So this is a positive matchup for us. Some Slurpuff might actually not run Play Rough and opt for Energy Ball for coverage. So they're going to stay in here. They might even no shield, and they do no shield. That does big damage. We're now going to swap into our Vanillux. I'm not really sure about this. I don't think Vanillux is necessarily a very safe swap. And even in matchups where we've got the typing advantage, you can see when all shields are still in play, this thing is pretty useless here. Although, saying that, we did obviously flip that matchup up against the Swampert, so I'm being a little bit critical of Vanillux here. But either way, gonna go and fire off the Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon is gonna be shielded by the opponent. At this point, we kind of have to just let this go down here. So we're gonna no shield. The opponent will fire off another Frenzy Plant, getting the KO there. We can come in with our Miltank, I assume. No, actually, never mind. Gonna come in with a Slurpuff since we do have some residual energy. We can go for a Flamethrower before they make it to the next Charge Leaf and just take out that Venusaur. And here is another Swampert. So of course we nuked the Swampert last time with a Blizzard on our Vanillux. Unfortunately, Vanillux is no longer here with us today, so we are going to come in with the Miltank. We are going to catch that first Hydro Cannon. We are probably going to shield at some point because Giratina is not going to do as much damage. However, we're not going to shield that Hydro Cannon. Now they swap into Giratina. We're firing off a Body Slam. I'm not sure about this. Body Slam will not be enough damage to get the KO, and the opponent does make it to a last second Charge Move. Technically, we can live this, so we should still no shields. It's going to do less damage than the Swampert will do with a Hydro Cannon. However, we are very low to the point where actually the opponent can probably just Mudshot farm us down from this point. So we're going to fire up another Body Slam here. I think we're at back-to-back Charge Moves, but either way, I think we're just going to swap into our Slurpuff anyways. The opponent throws a Charge Move here, but unless they've got back-to-back Hydro Cannons here, we should be at the Play Rough right now. We can fire it off straight away, and Play Rough from this range doesn't get the KO. No, it actually doesn't, but the opponent not at the Charge Move anyways. We're able to get the Fairy Wind farm down, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we're going to see a Feraligatr in the lead. So this is a fairly neutral matchup here, and this is a matchup where, of course, having Energy Ball would be nice for us, but even then, I probably still wouldn't quite get the KO anyway, so I guess we just go straight for the Play Rough here. Play Rough is going to be shielded. The opponent is going to respect the damage. We're now going to swap into Miltank, and of course, we are double resisting the Shadow Claw damage. They're going to swap into Drapion, and we fire off an Ice Beam. Now, I know that in the Great League, or at least, well, I guess in the Ultra League as well, in neutral situations, it's actually pretty much as energy efficient to go for a Body Slam as it is to go for a Shadow Ball with Licky Licky. However, Ice Beam is not as good as Shadow Ball, so I think Body Slam is still the way to go in neutral situations. However, with that Ice Beam landed, we can now go for Body Slams here, and Body Slam will put them into rollout farm down range, so maybe that was the right play there. I don't know, I'm not really familiar with the Ultra League, but either way, we're going to no shield once again. We're actually going to swap and very aggressively swap back into our Slurpuff, get the Fairy Wind farm down. They come back in with Feraligatr, and are we going to shield here? We are going to shield as the opponent fires off the Hydro Cannon, and we can just about make it to a Play Rough here. So Play Rough, are we going to get the final shield from the opponent? Yes, we are, of course. Feraligatr's usually going to double shield. We're going to no shield at this point as the opponent's going to fire off another Hydro Cannon, taking out the Slurpuff, and let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to wait out the switch clock in the full and then come in with our Vanillux. Now, we can live one Charge Move. They should be able to make it to 2, possibly even 3 Charge Moves before we actually get a full Astonish farm down, which isn't really ideal for us. So we are going to, of course, have to let the next move go through. We might even swap back into our Miltank here. Yeah, we're going to swap, make the catch there, and then hopefully there is something in the back for Vanillux to just completely nuke out of the sky. And unfortunately, it's going to be Incineroar. Both Charge Moves are going to be resisted. If we had Signal Beam, of course, course, it would hit for neutral damage. However, I don't think we'd make it to 2 anyways. Unfortunately, Blizzard just doesn't do enough damage there, so we're going to concede the match. Into next battle, we're going to see Ampharos in the lead, so this is an okay-ish matchup for us. We're going to no-shield the first charge move, as the opponent is going to go and fire off a Trailblaze immediately, boosting up their attack, which makes a lot of sense. Probably also on Brutal Swing, which should be resisted anyway, so Trailblaze definitely the move to go for there. We're going to fire off a Play Rough, then Safe Swap into our Vanillux, and we're actually baiting out Cresselia, and I'd assume this isn't actually that bad for us, since we are, of course, on Astonish. The opponent going to fire off a Moonblast there, and normally Cresselia not going to shield, so might as well just full send the Blizzard here. Blizzard is going to be no-shielded. It does huge damage, of course. Signal Beam would have also been great, but we get the full farm down anyways. They come in with a Poliwrath, which is definitely what they should have came in with initially. However, we're looking pretty fine now. We can come in with the Slurp Off. We are fairly low though, so at this point I would definitely recommend shielding up against the Ampharos. We are going to shield. They go for a Brutal Swing bait, which is unfortunate, but we're now going to bank a ton of energy, swap into our Miltank, catch the charge move as the opponent fires off a Trailblaze this time around. That's still absolutely fine with us. We are just going to continue to overfarm here, realizing the opponent's switch clock will be up very soon, so we need as much energy as possible if they do want to swap out here. However, the opponent's staying in with the Ampharos. We're going to fire off the Body Sam. Body Sam gonna be no-shielded. They now swap back into the Poliwrath, but this is where farming up so much energy is gonna be very nice. We fire off the Body Sam there. Doesn't do much damage, but we can swap straight away into Slurpuff, and I believe we've already got another Body Sam loaded on our Miltank. So at this point, definitely just gonna shield this. The opponent goes for the Icy Wind. I don't think it's gonna matter. I think even with the debuff, Play Rough should be enough damage to get the KO anyways. Play Rough does get the knockout. They come back in with the Ampharos. They are forced to throw a charge move here, but I don't believe they're at back-to-back, so the opponent goes for a Brutal Swing. We can come out. Actually, we didn't quite have the Body Slam loaded, but it doesn't matter. One rollout gets the KO, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we can see Shadow Steelix in the lead here, and this used to be a very good matchup for us when when Steelix was on Dragon Tail, as of course it is double resisted. Now, typically the moveset is going to be Thunderfang, and the opponent actually swaps into a Shadow Gyarados, which is very strange. And also kind of strange that we swap out there since we were double resisting the Dragon Breath damage. However, we should be able to go for a full Astonish farm down. They go for Crunch, and Crunch actually gets a debuff there. And unfortunately, that's probably not going to allow us to make it to a Blizzard up against the Steelix coming back in. So that is very unfortunate. If the opponent does know the counts here or just chooses to no-shield, unfortunately, Flash Cannon just does not do much damage whatsoever. So not looking too great for us here. We're going to come back in with the Slurpuff, I assume, because, of course, Miltank has a double-resisted fast move and only neutral Ice Beam to throw. So we're going to come in with the Slurpuff. The opponent swaps into Ceruledge, and this should be a good matchup for us. However, we've only got resisted or double-resisted charge moves to throw. So whilst rollout is hitting super effective, it is non-stab. We're going to fire off 3 rollouts, making sure to throw on good timing. We actually do farm up to 100 energy though. We're going to bait with a Body Slam here. We've grabbed the first shield. They've still got another shield though, so let's see what we can do. We're going to shield up the Flame Charge. We're going to go for 1 rollout this time and fire off the Ice Beam. Ice Beam is single resisted, so it should do more damage than the Body Slam. However, the opponent is going to double shield the Ceruledge. We're going to go and fire off another Body Slam. Body Slam does not get the KO. However, the opponent does not throw there. Instead, we can fire off 1 Fairy Wind, go for Flamethrower, get the KO, but can we beat the Steelix from this range here? It's going to be very close. Of course, if they're on Dragon Tail, I'd be pretty confident in this matchup, but since they are on Thunderfang, can we actually get the KO here? Flamethrower coming through, does big damage, and it puts them into Fairy Wind farm down range just barely, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we're going to see Pangoro in the lead. So a great lead matchup for us. The opponent safe swaps into Shadow Drapion. We're going to respond with our Miltank, and the opponent is going to fire off a charge move. We're going to no-shield the first move as they fire off a Crunch there. Crunch, again, not getting a debuff, which is very nice. We can fire off a Body Slam here. Body Slam is going to be no-shielded by the opponent. And yeah, looking at this matchup, we probably do want to go for Ice Beam now, since Body Slam will not really put them into farm down range. However, this time we do go for Body Slam. Maybe expecting to grab a shield here, I'm not really sure. Body Slam is going to be no-shielded, and we do at least make it to another Body Slam before they make it to the next charge move. So Body Slam is going to be shielded at this point, so I guess going straight Body Slam was fine as well. We are going to shield our Miltank here. Can we commit to a full rollout farm down? It looks like we're not going to be able to do so before they make it to another charge move, so we just go for a Body Slam. Body Slam gets the KO there. They come back in with Pangoro, and we do just barely make it to another Body Slam. So of course, Body Slam not going to be shielded, doesn't do much damage there, but we can still align our Slurpuff to the Pangoro, and the opponent's going to fire off a charge move, so probably going to go for a close combat and dip, and they do. Close combat does some decent damage. They swap into Tentacle, and unfortunately, this is not a good matchup for us in the slightest. We're going to have to no-shield this. Maybe it's going to be like an Acid Spray or something. It is the Acid Spray, but it doesn't really help us because we're only going to make it to one charge move, so might as well just full send the Blizzard here. No point going for a Flash Cannon. Blizzard is going to be shielded by the opponent. Unfortunately, they resist everything we could possibly throw there. We're going to come back in with the Slurpuff, and we're going to shield. It's probably going to be another Acid Spray. It is another Acid Spray. They actually swap back into Pangoro. Maybe if we undercharge this Flamethrower, we could get a farm down here, but unfortunately, Flamethrower does get the KO there. I don't think it really matters. Even from this range play rough, I don't think we'll get the KO, whereas an Acid Spray, now that we're already double debuffed, takes out the Slurpuff, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But into next battle, we can see Annihilate in the lead, so a good matchup for us. Going to stay in. The opponent also choosing to stay in here, and just going to go straight for, I assume, a Rage Fist. So we're going to no-shield, as the opponent does go for Rage Fist. Rage Fist doesn't do too much damage, but these counters are now starting to add up. We're going to go for a Flamethrower here, and Flamethrower is going to be shielded by the Annihilate. At this point, we do need to shield this because a Rage Fist wouldn't quite take us out, but it would put us into counter farm down range. So at this point, we're going to overfarm here. We can just commit to Flamethrower at this point. We don't need to go for a Play Rough. Flamethrower number 2 is going to be shielded, and we're going to fire off another Flamethrower before the opponent throws a charge move, probably assuming they could just farm us down, but that's not the case. They're now going to come in with a Venusaur, and of course we do have Vanilluxe here, although I think Miltank's probably the safer option here. So we're going to wait out. We're actually going to come in with the Vanilluxe, and can we even make it to a Blizzard before they make it to back-to-back Frenzy Plants? I guess we're about to find out. They go for the first one. That does some decent damage. We actually just bank the energy, swap into our Miltank here, and we are presumably just going to no-shield once again as the opponent fires off another Frenzy Plant. We tank that a lot more comfortably on the Miltank, and we're going to fire off an Ice Beam just before they make it to the third Frenzy Plant here. However, Ice Beam is not quite enough damage to get the KO. So at this point, I'm going to shield the Miltank here. Going to look to go for a full rollout farm down, but the opponent swaps, and unfortunately for them, they've got Dragonite in the back. Ice Beam, double super effective, easily gets the one shot, and we're able to take that game. Now going into the final battle of this video, leading into our guys score, and they are on the new Sand Attack for this Pokemon, sorry. We're going to swap into our Ice type, looking to maybe bait out a Pokemon, but unfortunately it's going to be a normal rollout user, so not ideal for us as they are resisting the Astonish damage. We go for Blizzard, that does big damage, but there's just no way to fast move farm them down, as they are double resisting the fast move whilst we're also taking super effective damage from these rollouts. At this point we do at least force them to throw another charge move, so that's not the worst thing ever. We are of course going to let the Vanilluxe go down there, and probably just come in with our own rollout user in Miltank. So we're going to no-shield this as the opponent is going to go straight for a Shadow Ball for some reason. That makes very little sense there. Don't have a clue why they threw that. But either way, going to no-shield again as the opponent this time goes for the correct move in Body Slam. We're now going to farm up to 100 energy, fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam should be enough damage to get the KO from this range. They're going to come back in with the Glide Score, and of course we've got Ice Beam for coverage. So we're full sending it right off the bat, and the opponent is going to respect the damage here. So not ideal for us, but I don't think they're going to go and full send an Earthquake. So we're going to no-shield. It's just the Aerial Ace, which we do tank very comfortably. We're now going to continue to overfarm. The opponent's going to fire off another charge move, probably just going to be another Aerial Ace at this point. And they're actually able to make it to another Aerial Ace. So we're going to have to double shield here. We are baiting this time because honestly, the opponent probably also going to commit both shields in this matchup. However, since they did just grab both our shields, maybe they would have no-shielded, but it doesn't really matter. We've grabbed that shield. We can now full send the Ice Beam. Ice Beam will certainly get the one shot there. And they've got a Feraligatr in the back. So of course, we're going to come in with our Slurper, fire off the Play Rough here. Play Rough is going to do big damage, and it should hopefully put them into like, I guess, Body Slam range here for our Miltank. The opponent going to have to fire back-to-back Hydro Cannons to take us out. One will not be enough damage, and the opponent doesn't throw straight away, meaning we can fire off a Flamethrower. It's resisted damage, but it doesn't matter. It gets the KO, and we're able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.